one of your research papers was about sledging in sport. So that's specifically abuse from opponents. So
Yeah.
what do you think about that? Because again, to me, growing up playing sport, that's almost a part of the sport. It's a tool that an opponent has to gain the upper hand. Do you have a different opinion on that now you've sort of?
Yeah, I mean, I've played sport. Of course, it's part of, and certain sports have a greater culture
Well,
of that.
particularly, I was
So,
thinking boxing, like
yeah,
beforehand,
like cricket's known for
cricket doesn't,
sledging. Like basketball as well. Interestingly, we were asked, so like you are often, myself, I was asked to do the piece that was, this is outright abusive, and there was another academic that was asked to do it, this is psychological strategy, and then people were to read both pieces and then make their own mind up, really. What we actually found was, because it went online, I got abused online because my viewpoint was rubbish, and then the other academic got abused online because theirs, whereas people could have gone on and just agreed with an argument. And I think for me that really epitomised
So say that again.
So I wrote the piece basically saying this is abuse,
Right.
And people go on and go, oh, you're rubbish.
People abused you.
Yeah, you
ironically,
can't wrap people up in cotton wool, and then the other academic wrote that this is part of the sport, and people went on going, this is abuse, and it just it really showed me that actually these environments are polarizing, but there are the spaces where we want our opinion heard, and I guess I still stand on, and if I was working with athletes, that there is language and behaviour that fits within the rules of performance, and there are times then when you stretch over that line and what you're doing becomes abusive. That was actually linked to a cricket case where the language went beyond the sport. It became about thinking about the family, the people around a person, and again we've seen threats of violence that extend beyond, like I would personally say that's not within the realms of the sport, but I'm sure people would argue with me.
It's that win at all cost thing, isn't it? Was it Vince Lombardi or something? I vaguely remember from A-level sport.
and that's where people justify behaviours, and that's again, I think, where some of the research we've seen on emotional abuse in sport, as an example. People find that harder. If we look at sexual abuse in sport, we can easily say that's criminal. It has no place, and so it doesn't have a space in sport. Whereas when it becomes emotionally abusive behaviour, there's more of and that is the most prevalent type of violence that anyone would experience. And understanding that actually repeatedly that can still cause significant psychological harm, and that is down to the recipient of that behaviour as well.